Alright guys, for those who were tuned in on Twitch, you know that I debated with Jade Hawk, and this was a video he brought up as a reason that being attracted to Asian people can be argued to be pedophilic, because Kento Bento made a scientific breakdown video of why children are Asian people go through neoteny. Now, there is no scientific data to back this up. I have looked. I look at all scientific data to do with neoteny, and it's all about the delayed maturation of humans compared to other primates. It's nothing to do with race or anything like that. But I'm very interested to see what this video was, because after the debate with Jade Hawk, he ended up actually having a lot of left-wing views when we got down to what he actually believes or his analysis of actual fact or policy. But he seemed to have some weird right-wing social ideas, and I think it's because he went down this right-wing YouTube rabbit hole that led him to stuff like this video, which is a big problem on YouTube, is this sort of algorithmic push towards the extremes, and they're trying to deal with it, but they're not doing great. So let's watch this video and see how scientific it is.
I'm Kento Bento. This video was made possible by East Meet East. Find your Valentine on the #1 Asian dating app in North America and around the world at eastmeeteast.com/KentoBento. So, here's a statement. Asians are cuter. Okay, wait. If that was your reaction, this video is probably not what you think. Everyone has their own opinions of what constitutes as attractive. But I'm not necessarily talking about attractiveness here. I'm talking about cuteness. Cuteness is a term describing a type of attractiveness, commonly associated with youth and appearance. It's also a scientific concept. So when I say Asians are cuter, well, they arguably are. And that's including males, not just females. Now, compared to adults, common features for infants across all ethnic groups include larger heads, flatter faces, reduction of the brow ridge, hairlessness, thinner bones, reduced muscle mass, smaller physical size, shorter arms, shorter legs, just to name a few. And of course, this is largely why people find babies cute. If they didn't have these features and proportions, they'd more so resemble miniature adults. And that's kind of creepy. Normally, as you transition from a big-headed, short-limbed baby to a longer-legged juvenile to a teenager, and finally to a fully developed adult, you would expect to lose most, if not all, of these traits. However...
Okay, I'm really confused, because it seems like he's trying to argue that, like, Asian people have larger heads in proportion with their bodies, that he's trying to argue that Asian people have shorter limbs in proportions with their bodies, and has shown literally zero scientific evidence of this. And, I mean, you've been out day to day and seen this. The other thing that he does is cherry-picking images. A lot of these images, because of the Asian fetish, because in Japan specifically, I'm sorry to say this, it is a fact. I've already talked about it on the stream, so I'm going to brush over it a little bit. There is a Japanese obsession with these sort of fetishization of young girls that is prolific, and it's really bad, and it's a huge chain reaction from an obsession with the book Lolita into Lolicon and all of this. So, like, because it's fetishized in Japan, you will find some people who do their makeup to look younger, who style their hair to look younger, who wear schoolgirl uniforms, etc., etc. But that doesn't mean that they are biologically cuter or more childlike. It means that there is a push towards that because of the fetishization of it, not for any other reason.
This isn't always the case. How many cute baby-like features you retain into adulthood largely depends on your ethnicity. And this takes us back to Asian people, specifically East Asian people, because...
Yeah, because this guy looks like a baby, and this guy looks like a baby, and this woman looks like a baby with her jaw like this, you know, nose. This woman looks like a baby. This girl has a lot of makeup on, still looks like a grown-ass girl, like maybe 18, 19, like... This woman here, like, what is he talking about? His own image just belays everything he's saying. This woman, this man, yeah, very baby-like. Like, what is he talking about? This man, very baby-like. You know, I'm very confused.
Compared to other groups, they tend to have, on average, the highest retention of childlike features. This is called NEOTENY, where you may still look 14, even though you're actually 30. Okay, hold up. I suppose this may be getting awkward for some of you, especially for those who have an inclination towards Asians.
How does this look like a child? She has developed nose, her macrofacial features are absolutely adult. This girl is absolutely, this girl is, what?
Especially for those who have an inclination towards Asians. But it's actually not so weird. Studies have shown that, at least for men, there is a clear preference or attraction towards neotenized faces. And this is regardless of ethnicity. Men of all types were more likely to find neonate features attractive. And since Asian people were more likely to have these
Cherry-picked, cherry-picked, cherry-picked. Pulling a face, very specific angle. Almost definitely airbrushed here. Like, what?
Features, it's only natural that a high percentage of these men were also drawn to Asian people.
He's amalgamating two things. He's saying that men are more likely to be attracted to neonate features. What actually men are more likely to be attracted to is young features. But when I say young, I mean post-pubescent. Still post-pubescent, not childlike, right? But younger features. Smoother skin is attractive to men. Larger eyes are attractive to men. You know, straighter noses, straighter teeth, less yellowed teeth. Like, these are things that are attractive to men, but they're also attractive to women. Women like their men to look rugged, but also good skin, good hair, all of these things. Baldness is a big turnoff for women. Why? Because it denotes age. This is a biological thing about fertility, right? And the thing is that the research actually completely shuts down everything he's saying, because fertility, one of the important factors for fertility is developed hips, developed breasts, all of the signs of having gone through puberty, which then literally obscures it from being neonate, because neonate is prepubescent traits. He is amalgamating a study about younger looking people with children. And I'm just saying that might say a lot more about Kento Bento than it says about the biology of Asian people. You know what I'm saying? He might be trying to justify something, might be trying to project something and make it normal. I'm just saying, Kento Bento, this is kind of sus. This is a little bit sus, Kento. There's a little bit sus, this argument. Like, trying to say it's normal to be attracted to childlike features, that's sus, bro. That's sus.
So in many of these cases, what looked like Asian fever may have just been cuteness fever. And this is regardless of the person's actual age. According to these studies, neotenous faces were perceived as having higher sociability and femininity, whereas those low in neoteny were more intimidating. Okay, but why is this the case? Why are East Asians more neotenous? Well, about 30,000 years ago, there was a crucial juncture in the evolution of Asians. There was a gene mutation that resulted in several distinctive traits that made East Asians different from other populations. Thicker hair shafts, reduced chin protrusion, smaller breasts, changes in the morphology of ears and teeth, many of these traits making an individual look younger than they actually are.
I am a geneticist. No. He has completely misrepresented the EDAR mutation. Completely. He's also clearly not heard of Hitomi Jacob, yeah. Like, not from a geneticist to you guys, no, just look it up. Just look up the studies on the EDAR gene and the actual literature. Like, yes, these things developed, but they're nothing to do with neonati. They're nothing to do. Absolute fucking nonsense.
As time went on, changes in cranial morphology followed. Slightly larger heads, flatter faces, more pronounced cheekbones, reduced sexual dimorphism, which means males started to resemble females a little more. Basically, an all-round high retention of juvenile characteristics. Now, depending on your preferences, which relate to your background, your culture, your thoughts may differ on the attractiveness of the aforementioned. In Western society, the desirability of the
Absolutely. Maverick vs. Spades, you know what? You deserve a pause here, because I was going to wait until the next pause to talk about this, but it's the androgyny that is attractive. There are so many studies that show more symmetrical and more androgynous people are viewed as more attractive, that actually the perfect human is right in the middle of male and female. I mean, like, the Greeks believed this, the Romans believed this, you've got the fucking homunculi in legend, and the perfect being is a fusion of male and female. Like, androgyny has always been viewed as attractive in basically every culture, right? Like, you want androgyny and then with specific feminine features, or androgyny with specific male features, often associated with some facial features, and then hair, right? But androgyny is attractive to humans. So, like, it's nothing to do with kid-like features. It's nothing to do with... It's to do with androgynous features, and this guy is just projecting... I mean, I am, like, hella sus. This video on its own warrants an investigation of this man's hard drives. I'm just saying, right? We need this guy's hard drives. We need to know what's on those. We need to know what's on that computer. Kento Bento, I want to know what's on your computer, bro. I actually want to know. I want to know what's on your computer. I want to know what kind of shit you're looking at. Because Lolicon, I'm sure there's shit tons on there. You fucking weirdo. You absolute freak.
These traits is not exactly something that's encouraged when it comes to physical attraction, but in East Asia, it's pretty normal, and has been the case for a very long time. In fact, it's said sexual selection likely played a major role in bringing these traits to the forefront. As mentioned previously, there is an innate attraction that males in general have towards neotenous features, regardless of culture.
I just realized I haven't pulled this up on screen for the video yet. I did it on stream, so I apologize to viewers for the repeat here. Neoteny is nothing to do with retaining childlike features, right? Neoteny is about delaying or slowing the physiological or somatic development of an organism. So when he talks about neoteny in humans, he is literally talking about neoteny in humans as something that doesn't exist, about childlike features. What neoteny is about the slowing of development, right? And we have that in humans because we develop much slower than other primates. It's a very, very simple concept, right? We retain our young traits, including sexual development, for longer. Right? Like, he's literally just made up a term to justify being a freak who's attracted to children, as far as I'm concerned.
But in East Asian society, this is heightened. With more males selecting cute female partners, over time these traits became more and more widespread. In this sense, neoteny in Asian males is really the resulting byproduct of sexual selection. Another point to consider is that infantile features tend to trigger a nurturing response in adults. They elicit more
androgyny. Androgyny. If you replace the word neoteny and then take out all reference to children and replace the word neoteny with androgyny, this video is relatively accurate. But it's like, why is he involving kids in androgyny? It's so fucking creepy. This dude is so creepy.
Affection, meaning that this is possibly an evolutionary adaptation to help ensure that children are taken care of by adults, and thus securing the survival of the species. In a similar sense, those who retain said traits into adulthood could have higher reproductive success. If you're wondering why non-neotenous traits exist,
because looking after people and sexual attraction to people, like the need to look after somebody and the need to bone them is the same, right? Like when your mum gets sick and you're like, oh yeah, my mum's sick, I really need to look after her, I'm worried about my mum because I love her. You actually want to bone your mum, right? Kento Bento? You're trying to bone your mum because she got sick and you're worried about her? Yeah? No? It's almost like nurturing and sexual attraction are different things, and fusing them is actually one of the things that is typical in pedophiles. Like like sexual treatment and nurturing treatment are one and the same is like literally one of the logical leaps made in the brains of pedophiles. That's why they talk about they look after the kids, they love kids, they really want to look after them. Like the people who talk about like, what? This is like well-studied, well-known psychological like mismatching and like fusion of two concepts. Is like, what? Like this guy is actually hella... I was joking at first a little bit, like just poking fun, but I'm getting more and more and more worried here. Like I'm actually, as the video goes on, it's becoming less, haha, funny May, this guy's sus, to like, yeah, like we actually need to take a look at this guy's hard drives. Let's just...
in the first place, well, There are obvious evolutionary benefits. Larger teeth and jaws, for example, would have been needed for the constant chewing of tough, raw foods back in the day. You can see from this that neoteny is actually a condition that has affected all humans, just to varying degrees. An adult human today is a lot closer to the juvenile form of our ancestors. We're all basically mutant apes that never grew up. Okay, at this point, many of you may be wondering how the concept of Asian eyes fits into all of this. I mean, babies are supposed to have disproportionately large eyes, which would make it a neotenous trait. But then, how is this explained? I've actually done an extra video covering this specific topic, which you can check out exclusively on our Patreon page. Now, it's not just the physical characteristics that make East Asians appear cuter. It's also the way they act.
Racism.
If there's one country that exemplifies this the most, it would have to be Japan. Kawaii culture.
Oh shit, it's almost like Japan is notorious for the fetishization of young girls. Holy shit, it's almost like it's a sociological issue that Japan is notorious for the fetishization of young girls. It's almost like Japan has thousands of studies into the abuse of young girls. It's almost like Japan has the highest rate of molestation of young girls in the world. It's almost like Tokyo has to have dedicated trains for women during rush hour because so many women get molested on public transport. It's almost like when polled, Japanese high schoolers say 80% of them have been molested on public transport. Holy shit. This guy is so... This is like post hoc justification of his weird fetishes to the extreme. To the extreme.
Has long been a prominent aspect of Japanese society. The cutesy, kawaii way of talking and acting is certainly commonplace there, with many Japanese men finding this attractive. And actually, it's not just restricted to the way they look and the way they act. Kawaii cuteness is pervasive everywhere, in media, entertainment, clothing, food, toys, transport, guardrails, condoms? Okay, so the ability
Lolicon porn because they're fucking weird.
for adult humans to be able to act kawaii is also considered a neotenous trait. This is an example of psychological neoteny, where there is a retention of youthful attitudes and behaviors into later adulthood. While this is certainly more widespread in Japan, South Korea, parts of China, it's not strictly an East Asian phenomenon. For example, you can perhaps classify the American California Valley Girl tone and behavior as a form of psychological neoteny. Now, in an evolutionary sense, this childlike trait of play.
Wow, the California Valley Girls also display this psychological trait. I wonder what California has that fetishizes young people and young looks. Oh shit, Hollywood? Hollywood's right there? Wait, is Hollywood in California? One second, let me Google this, because I'm not 100% sure. I need to double check that Hollywood's in LA. Is Hollywood in California? Let's find out, Oh shit, it is. It's in Los Angeles. And oh shit, where else is the fetishization of children massive? Where else have there been massive pedophile epidemics? Where, like, oh fuck, oh shit, it's almost like there's a sociological explanation. Oh fuck, what? Shit, Kento Bento, you're looking real bad. You're looking real sus right now.
Playfulness or prolonged immaturity can actually be a valuable developmental characteristic. It can make an individual more flexible and adaptable in life, behavioral traits that aren't nearly as beneficial in previous, more settled societies. Social roles today.
I've been to Hollywood. I've literally spent time in LA. I don't think anybody is doubting that I know where Hollywood is. I think that the sarcasm was pretty fucking blatant by how it dripped off of every word. I'm surprised it didn't go, wow, as sarcasm just flew across the screen as I spoke, even though I don't have a button to do that on my Stream Deck.
Are dramatically less fixed. Frequent changes in our careers and personal relationships have become the norm, and perhaps the best way to deal with all this unpredictability is to embrace that youthful sense of play. It drives humans to be more curious about the world, enabling us to learn new things even as adults. By the way, I'm not saying that being straight up immature is the way to go. Of course, there's a difference between the playful adaptability as highlighted here and just plain obnoxiousness. And another thing to clear.
Yeah, guys, don't be a dickhead. Just act like a child so that it can justify my fetish. No. Walking around being like actually a fucking rambunctious child, that's bad. I want you to act like the fetishized child that gets me off. Kento Bento, sus as hell. Jesus.
Clear up, this topic may be a sensitive issue for certain people, as race-related topics tend to be. I know some have used neoteny to argue that Asians are inferior because they're underdeveloped and childlike. Conversely, there are others who have argued that Asians are superior to the rest of the world, given that neoteny is a characteristic of advanced evolutionary status, meaning Asians are capable of the greatest development. No,
again, that's not the definition of neoteny. Neoteny is the fact that we don't sexually mature until like 12 or 13 at the generally earliest. And if there wasn't estrogen in the water all the time, then it would be, 12, 13, 14 would be the earliest we ever go through puberty. Because that's what neoteny actually talks about, is the delay of sexual maturation and the delay of development in order to have a longer child phase. It is not about the retention of childlike traits. This is like pure post hoc justification for his weird fetish. That weird fetish being childlike traits. The water's turning the frickin' frogs gay. You gotta understand, brother. Water's turning frogs gay. That's why I only drink G Fuel. Don't you mix water with G Fuel? No, brother. I mix Coca-Cola with G Fuel. It's the way I go.
This video is not backing either of these points of view. Any differences should be cherished and appreciated in their own way. And whether you're more into Asian features or Western features or whatever, that's okay too. But if Asian is your thing and you're single, you should check out East Meet East. It's the premiere.
Okay. We don't need to watch his ad again. Yep, just more ad for the rest of it. 1.49 million subscribers, 1.5 million subscribers. And he does these videos about like the prison breaks and stuff. So, like, is this guy Asian? Is he even Asian himself? Or does he just do like Asian baiting? Okay, so he's a Hong Kong Japanese YouTuber. Oh yeah, no, he is Asian. He's not particularly neotenous though, is he? Like, that's not a super neotenous face. I'm just saying, like, Asian people retain childlike traits. Don't know about that one. I don't know about... I think it's just this this scary post-hoc justification for his fetish. Anyway, thanks for watching the YouTube video. I'll see you guys on the Twitch channel if you want to watch the deeper dives.